Good morning, lacrosse fans, and welcome to Onondaga Nation Arena in Syracuse, New York, where you are watching the Lax All-Stars North American Invitational, brought to you by Nike Lacrosse. And if you think that you are watching the game between Courage Game and CatTail Kings, you are correct in that is the game you are watching. But it looks like you were watching Courage Game playing NOF, the non-orbital astronauts from Earth team. And that's because the jerseys for the CatTail Kings are not here. They've been playing in the Tonawanda Braves uniforms. So their jerseys did not arrive this morning. So we wind up with them, in order to be able to get ready to go, borrowing jerseys from the NOF team that just played. Cal Swiss Hill, the goalie, makes a save there. So we are a little confused on their roster, who they've got here, but we will do the best we can to call the action for you. I'm Chuck Jaffe, and I will be here calling games along with Steven Stamp at the LASNAI. Hope you've been enjoying all of the action. So Courage Game gets on the attack. Shot wide, and then we had a crease violation. So it will be the CatTail Kings who come forward. Ball goes out to the wide side, and they slow things down. So literally, again, we are dealing with a situation where we have no roster. We're trying to, and although I did call some CatTail Kings games yesterday, it is tough to do it on which helmet was which guy, because we've been doing a lot of games here. The Kings, like I said, have been playing their games in jerseys for the Tonawanda Braves. That's because most of their guys are from the Tonawanda area, so it makes some sense that they would do that. But apparently no uniforms yet. They may change at halftime or later on in the game. Fed ahead, and there's the first goal as the headlong pass all the way down the field frees. I would have to be guessing at the names. So that's the problem that we've got, is that we just can't call the game the way we normally would by trying to recognize body types on these guys. So it's Rob Clark taking the draw for Courage Game, and he comes away with that win. Gets the ball over Nathan Bruce. Bruce takes a shot. And I just want to say that I believe the goalie for the CatTail Kings throughout this tournament has been Simone Jonathan. But it looks like Cal Swiss Hill, and I'm trying to remember which team he was playing in the cage for yesterday. It looks like he's the one, but we'll try to confirm that. The ball goes back to Ken Altarn, the goalie for Courage Game.
Excuse me. Is that Simone in the cage, or is that not Simone in the cage? Is that Simone Jonathan in the cage, or is that not? The goalie. Simon Jonathan, okay.
Yeah. And it is Simon Jonathan in the cage for CatTail Kings. Fed down low. Jonathan doesn't have to make that one because shot was both over and after the time expired. So again, the headman pass, but Clark is there, and Alturn comes out. Rob Clark just heaves it back over his head. Rob Clark, very entertaining guy. He's in his late 40s. He's kind of chuckling with the guys covering. Shot from the outside. Nice save there. But the rebound kicks around and the CatTail Kings get it back. Again, CatTail Kings playing in jerseys they have borrowed from the non-orbital astronauts from Earth. And there's a feed inside and a finish for the CatTail Kings. Again, as I look over a roster for them that includes, I want to say that's Danny Jimerson who got that goal. But again, I'm doing it from some memory of what have we seen with other folks. Now, as you watch faceoffs at this tournament, there have been you've been watching draws that will take, at times they will take traditional old-fashioned box lacrosse draws, and at times they will take field lacrosse draws, and it sort of depends on what the teams want. Nice stick there on the individual effort by Joseph Huntley. So Joseph Huntley gets the scoop and the score and makes it 2-1. CatTail Kings, again, they look like they're the non-orbital astronauts from Earth. By the way, NOAFE has been used to mean other things. When that team made its debut, it was debuting at the Alek Rebeski Memorial Tournament in Prague shortly after the last Winter Olympics, where there had been the Olympic athletes from Russia who were not able to compete as Russia. So that team debuted as the non-Olympic athletes from everywhere. That was NOAF originally. Nice save there. Ken Althorn sitting on the egg. That one gets kicked around a little bit. Patrick Pollock comes away with the ball, but they call interference on the other Courage Game player. So CatTail Kings go back on the attack. The Kings played 3 games, and the Kings going to have a man-up opportunity here. The Kings bench is so short because they literally have just 1 sub, and not that the Courage Game bench is much bigger, because it isn't. They are down to a few subs. They've had a couple of injuries, and they were not a deep bench to begin with. Save there by Altarn. Loose ball picked up, and now we'll have that penalty. So it was an illegal substitution. So Courage Game's bench appears actually deeper than it has been. Meanwhile, CatTail Kings have 2 subs at this point. They are expecting players to be here, as they're expecting their jerseys to show up later. So they go back on, or they go on the man up for the first time in this game, try to feed it in front. Altarn tries to glove it with his free hand, can't catch it. The ball kicks around into the corner. Nice ground ball opportunity, gets that in front and across the crease and stuck there. I believe, again, that was Dan Jimerson getting the goal, but I could be wrong because we don't have the numbers. But a man-up goal gives the CatTail Kings a 3-1 lead. So we go back to the draw. Rob Clark taking the draw for Courage Game. Ball kicking around. And then lost back. Nice save there. As again, I believe it was Jimerson wound up getting free. Simon Jonathan with the save. Ball comes over the top. Fed out on the wing. The CatTail Kings moving the ball well today. A little bit better today, actually, I think, in some respects than they did yesterday. Now, some of that may be Courage Games defense. Ball coming up with Murphy Butler for Courage Kings. Gets that over to Joshua Davis. Davis stopped by Simon.
With an assist, number 5, Glenn Abrams, and number 12, Waylon Abrams, on the goal, 6:56.
So we have another penalty coming against Courage Game. Again, for an illegal substitution, we'll put the CatTail Kings, and I'm now watching as an additional player has shown up, and apparently their jerseys have shown up. So we'll wait to see how they decide to sort that out. I suspect they will do it at halftime. Meanwhile, the team goes back to the attack. Nice steal there. Murphy Butler with a great pickoff. Damon Nagy in the box. He's serving the penalty, which was a bench penalty for too many men. Double team pressure against Butler. Now triple team against Butler. 30-second shot clock expires, so the ball will go back to the CatTail Kings. But 1-on-3 there. Tries to split it, loses the ball. Nice defense by the Kings. Justin Scams. And the ball goes back to Murphy Butler. Butler gets that ahead. Nathan Bruce kicks that back. So Mark Taylorson fed across. That's Huntley. Joseph Huntley scored the first goal. They can't connect there. That ball will cross the midfield. And here's an opportunity for the Kings. Dished back. And you can see the red reinforcements as the rest of this team has arrived. So we'll assume the guys who are in Kings jerseys, right now it's a mixture of the Tonawanda Braves jerseys that the Kings have been wearing throughout the tournament. So with 2.5 minutes remaining in the first, that shot caught a piece of Simon Jonathan. Ball bounces out of bounds. It'll stay with Courage Game. That shot from the outside by Joshua Davis gets a piece of Simon Jonathan to reset the shot clock. That pass ahead, they tried the headman pass. It winds up being knocked down. Nathan Bruce picks it up. Bruce feeds it in front. Nice check there. Helps stopping that shot from getting through, and it's a 2-on-1 break the other way. And a goal for the CatTail Kings. Makes it 4-1 with 1:39 remaining in the first half. So that goal scored by Grayson Ground. And the long looping pass gets into the bench area.
CatTail goal scored by number 6, Grayson Brown. With an assist, number 96, Simon Jonathan. Time that goal, 1:27.
So back on the attack and now fully reinforced and energized. It's the CatTail Kings. Fed in front, and another goal right there. So the CatTail Kings get one more goal, make it 5-1. We're sorry for a little bit of the confusion. Very tough to work when you don't know who all the players are. But we've been working through it, and we will work through it at halftime. We'll be back in just a moment with the second half. You are watching the Lax All-Stars North American Invitational from Syracuse, New York.
What is the future of sport? The next evolution of athlete? Well, we hypothesized that athletes will develop the sixth sense, if you will, extremely heightened instincts. If you look across the animal kingdom, a sixth sense is innate to many species. With the right tools, our athletes can acquire an inexplicable connection to see without seeing, to feel without feeling, to do things that for thousands of years didn't seem humanly possible.
At Sisu, we take a very scientific approach to making sure our technologically advanced, doctor-developed, scientifically backed, industry-changing mouthguards are the most protective, lightest, talkable, breathable, comfortable, drinkable, removable mouthguards on the planet to guarantee you're protected. No matter what comes your way, the Sisu Next Gen. Sisu, talk, breathe, drink.
CatTail goal scored by number 77, Shadow Jonathan. With an assist number 3, Kelsey Sundown. And number 69, Stephen Kudry. Time that goal, 26 seconds of the first half.
We're back at Onondaga Nation Arena. Our score, CatTail Kings 5. Courage game 1, and the CatTail Kings have now gone into their uniforms. There's a goal from the outside. Once again, that is Joseph Hurley getting his second of the game for Courage Game. So he's got both of Courage Game's goals. If things look a little bit different on your screen, don't adjust your set and your color. The CatTail Kings are now wearing their uniforms, their regular uniforms, which for this tournament have been the uniforms of the Tonawanda Braves, because the team is basically all from the Tonawanda area. So we have a better chance of being able to tell you who they are as we go forward. Rob Clark on the draw, winds up winning it because of a penalty. We'll see if he stays on.
Second of the game scored by number 5, Joseph Huntley. With an assist from number 17, Murphy Butler. Tell that goal, 14-25.
Ball fed along the wing. So if Rob Clark is staying out on the offense, we're expecting him to do a lot of picking, which he is. That one, nice save there by Simon Jonathan. Another nice save by Simon Jonathan. And a third nice save by Simon Jonathan. The last one, robbing Damon Nagy. The Hungarian pronunciation, by the way, of Nagy would be Nagy, so I'm not sure if Damon uses the Americanized version of the name or the Hungarian natural pronunciation. But Nagy in Hungarian would be Nagy. Thrown away, although they never really had possession. Grayson Ground came away with it, but that gets knocked down, and Courage Game gets the ball back. So they're back on the attack, are the CatTail Kings. Lost there. And so in that case, what happened, you see that kind of mark, you had the offensive player run through the crease and then be next to play the ball. You cannot gain an advantage by running through the crease. So normally if you go through the crease, you can't be the next one to touch it either, because you're playing the ball when it's loose, or you come out and you get a pass after you've run through. Ooh, there's a nice score from the outside. Moving to his left, but shooting back to his right is Joshua Davis. And Courage Game makes it 5-3. And it's funny because you normally think a team gets their uniforms there and they get kind of revved up to play their game. And instead, it's actually been Courage Game that's showing up in the second half here. 2 quick scores. So with 11:30 left as we start this next face-off, it's a 5-3 game. Red moved again, so Clark wins that face-off. Clark is good at standing still. Rob and I are friends. I'm allowed to make a joke like that. So the ball goes back to Courage Kings. It's make it and take it. Nice pick there. Can't get the open man. Here's a good double team. Works away. Grayson Ground helps to create pressure. Splitting the double team, but losing the ball and then getting shoved in the crease. But he gets out of the crease. That was Nathan Bruce who got shoved into the crease. Headman pass up there, but intercepted. Patrick Pollock coming away with it. So the problem for Courage Game, as I said, they have more subs than I've seen them with, but the problem is that they don't really have more offensive players, that they're heavy defense and not so much on offense. That shot takes a wild length of the floor bounce. Unable to finish. Kelsey Sundown gets the rebound and can't put it away. Fed in front. Nice spin move, but can't hold on to the ball. Shadow Jonathan. When in doubt, it's a member of the Jonathan family. They are a big part. And there's Kelsey Sundown. Getting that one between the legs of Ken Altern. And the CatTail Kings make it a 6-3 game with just under 9.5 minutes remaining. So we go back to the dot. Again, this a game between two teams that, well, Courage Game has struggled to generate offense in its games. CatTail Kings have been inconsistent. They have played some really good games. They were playing mostly yesterday at the Onondaga Fieldhouse. They had to play 3 games, starting with a game against the Polish national development team. And that was a game where it was very even and then a little bit of loss of composure. So one of the nice things to watch with the CatTail Kings is when they put it all together, they are fun to watch. That shot from the outside. When they put it all together, they are very fun to watch. When they lose their composure, that's a little tougher to watch. But here they are very composed, and they have been that way. They have been that way despite the fact that, you know, you start and you're playing in somebody else's jerseys. Their try is a dunk attempt. but it won't go. So Grayson Ground has the ball on the left-hand side. Ground was not here playing yesterday for the Kings. Ball gets fed up high, and they move it around. They had a fresh shot clock. Now they got a penalty coming, so Simon Jonathan makes the long run to the bench. So Shadow Jonathan can come out. Shadow with the big, a little too much on that offensive pick. Shadow looks and says, it's not my fault that I'm a lot bigger than he is and he fell over. But the refs disagree. Shadow stays out to play high right on the man up. So the CatTail Kings go back on the man up. Evan Granman, by the way, is the player in the box for a Courage game. That shot without a touch goes over and back.
Courage game penalty, number 24.
Remember that penalties in this game, penalties are 1 minute long. We're playing 15-minute halves. Penalties are 1 minute long. That shot from the outside gets in, somehow past Simon Jonathan, who had a big piece of it, sticking out the left mitt. But that shot, second goal of the game now for Joshua Davis. So it's been Davis 2 and Joseph Huntley 2. That's been the scorers for Courage game, 6-4. Courage game lucky not to get a too many men or a delay of game penalty, as they came out as if they were out of the box and the penalty had been released. The time is over, but you cannot release if it releases while you're setting up a draw. And again, Rob Clark wins the draw by standing still. Now has to get away from trouble. And he is in trouble as he's pinned up against the boards, being worked by Shadow Jonathan, who didn't like losing the face-off by moving too early. Oh, Shadow Jonathan with the big hit. He's going to the box right there. The big hit with the one paw off the stick. So we'll see what they're sorting out, because there now seem to be, and see if this one is for more than 1 minute. So it will be a 5-on-4 opportunity, but let's see exactly what they've done. If they've given 1 or 2, and there's different ways that they can do this. But it's Shadow Jonathan in the box, 5-on-4, so man advantage for Courage game.
Penalty, number 77, Shadow Jonathan, 3-minute major for illegal body checking.
So Jonathan was given a 3-minute major. A 3-minute major, which means that, they're going to play man down for much of the rest of the game. There's only 5 minutes remaining. And here's where the CatTail Kings have to mix what they want to do with what they should do. I talked about how this is a team that when they keep their composure, they've played very well and they've been very fun to watch. They love to go to the net, but at times they shouldn't be going to the net. They should be a little bit more patient than that. So we'll see what happens. Right now, running out of time on the shot clock and just keeping the ball dirty is a win, because it takes 30 seconds off and then the clock keeps running. So again, more time moving. But now they're slow getting back as they're behind the play. The extra shot that they wanted to give to the man bringing the ball up, that cost them time. Nathan Bruce started things off, tried to get it to Huntley. It's Joshua Davis with the ball now. Bruce can't handle the pass. Ball rolls over to Simon Jonathan, looks for the headman pass. It gets knocked down. And again, time their friend, possession their friend, Nathan Bruce shoots that. Jonathan with a nice save there, leaning to the left. They go again for the headman pass, but they can't control it, and Joseph Huntley runs it down. So again, when you start to talk about how they're playing it, if they keep the man ahead to try to get their guy out and get that long pass, or they're man down and they still have a minute 13 in this man down. Jonathan is locked in. If Courage Game can get a goal here, they'll be down by 1. Nice save there by Simon Jonathan. Again, looking for that headman pass. Takes the shorter one now, but they miss the goalie and give it back. Again, big opportunities. Nathan Bruce brings the ball forward. 48 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Lost ball, and here's another opportunity. This time they connect with Grayson Ground. Ground coming in as if it was a penalty shot or even slower, and he sticks it. So Grayson Ground gets his second goal of the game, a shorthanded marker. And that's pretty close to a dagger in this game when you have to factor in that the time keeps running. So we're under 2.5 minutes remaining. There's still 20 seconds remaining in the man advantage, but by the time they get this face-off, Simon Jonathan, or rather Shadow Jonathan, will have been released from the penalty box. So that being the case, that will have them even up. We will be getting into stop time, but they have to make something happen quickly. Justin Scams came up with the ball for Courage Game. Nice save there. And that 2 nice saves for Simon Jonathan. Another nice save for Simon Jonathan on that high shot that would have picked the corner. Rob Clark comes away with the rebound, dishes it in front. Unable to get the shot away. Mitch Larson. The ball carried the other way. So the CatTail Kings back on the offense, even strength. Not much time left on the shot clock. They get the shot off, save made. But again, Courage Game can hardly afford to throw it away. Fresh 30 now for CatTail Kings. And again, that's where you might want to play more time. They don't. It might work out. No, that ball's going to cross and be over and back. So the result is that it will be Courage Game's ball. That's where you would have liked to have seen them use a little more time. Courage Game calls a timeout, trailing by 3. So if you're in the Syracuse area, there are great games coming all day today, literally all day. It will be nonstop action. Barely stopping action. Will be somewhere between 8 and 12 minutes between most games to keep us on schedule. And you have games coming all the way into the evening, which will include the semifinals today with USA Blue and USA White. Their opponents, respectively, Gold Star Tel Aviv and Thompson Brothers, the two-time defending champions. I know a lot of people would be hoping that it is a USA final, but I also know that every other team that has entered here has hoped that they could knock off one of the Team USAs. For the Thompson brothers to do it, they will have to go through both, potentially, assuming that Gold Star does not knock off USA White, I believe that's Gold Star. That shot misses everything. Again, trying the headman pass with the goalie pulled. Loose ball picked up there nicely by Justin Scams. Gets that ball ahead, 30 seconds. They are bringing their goalie back. At this point, Joshua Davis doesn't take that shot. Now he does. Lucky not to hit his own man, Murphy Butler, who was running in front of the cage. Loose ball picked up there. And a goal there on the empty net with 4.4 seconds left. Art Jonathan gets that goal. And that will wrap things up and make it 8-4, which should be our final. With stop time, we have 4.4 seconds on the clock. Now, when this game is done, we will have another red team coming in. The Onondaga Redhawks, basically the home team. They will be playing Graftex in a game that should be a barn burner. The Redhawks last night wound up being 1-game losers to one of the Team USAs in the quarterfinals.
assist number 69, Stephen Kruger, time to goal, 4 seconds.
So, as we finish things up here, one last scoop. That one going to Nathan Bruce. But the scoops don't win the game, the goals do, and the CatTail Kings had more of them. They had 8. Courage Game had 4. So both teams, game till the end. Fun game to watch. Hopefully they had a fun time playing it, and hopefully you enjoyed it at home. Sorry that we had the difficulties with the lineups, but we won't have that for our next game. Our next game coming to you in a short while is Graftex against the Onondaga Redhawks. Until then, we'll take a short break here, but keep watching all day. And if you're in the area, great action at both the Onondaga Arena and the Onondaga Fieldhouse. Come down to where the games are played. Onondaga Arena, the native name for it is where the games are played, and the Fieldhouse is where we play, is what their names mean. You should come down to where we play. There's great stuff here between the exhibitors and the food and much more. It's a great place to be. But if you can't be here, keep watching all day on laxallstars.com. You've been watching the CatTail Kings, who finish with 8 goals to beat Courage Game, which finished with 4. You're watching the Lax All-Stars North American Invitational, brought to you by Nike Lacrosse. I'm Chuck Jaffe. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in just a little bit.
What is the future of sport? The next evolution of athlete? Well, we hypothesized that athletes will develop the sixth sense, if you will. Extremely heightened instincts. If you look across the animal kingdom, a sixth sense is innate to many species. With the right tools, our athletes can acquire an inexplicable connection to see without seeing, to feel without feeling, to do things that for thousands of years didn't seem humanly possible.
At CSU, we take a very scientific approach to making sure our technologically advanced, doctor-developed, scientifically backed, industry-changing mouthguards are the most protective, lightest, talkable, breathable, comfortable, drinkable, removable mouthguards on the planet to guarantee you're protected. No matter what comes your way, the CSU Next Gen. CSU, talk, breathe, drink.